What's up, everybody? MamboMikeWellness.com. We're entering a time of great change. There's many shifts happening throughout the world, and there are many people who are waking up and discovering the limitations that we have in this current system. And so I understand, I get a lot of comments from people about the world being asleep or people being unconscious. Some people are complaining that they are sheeple. And so this is a struggle that many people who are awake are experiencing. And what I like to say is that you got to have presence and understanding and compassion for whatever stage you are in your journey. And perhaps you're more conscious now than you were a few months or a few years ago. And as much as you think you know now, you also have to understand that months or years from now, what you think you know now as truth or as the answer or whatever the case may be, it's not going to be necessarily true in the future. So it's a continual progression, is a continual evolution. And in the same way that you're continuing to grow or progress, you have to allow other people to do the same. And some people will awaken earlier, some people will be stuck a little bit longer, some people maybe will never get it. And so part of your resistance with needing other people to change before you change perhaps has to do with a belief that your reality cannot change unless other people join you. And if you recognize the powerful creator that you are, then you have to understand that your reality is your reality. It's all a projection of you. It's all up to you. And you can either line up with what you want or not. And lining up with what you want may include accepting and attracting or bringing into your experience those people that line up with your vision or your reality that you prefer. And so rather than try to think of people as needing to change or resisting people who are not where you are, just focus on where you are. And I'll really be honest with you, there are way more people who are awake than you might think. Yes, the general population is still very much stuck in this matrix and this programming, and they're very much controlled on every level, mentally, physically, emotionally, tied to the system. But there are many people, especially in the last few years, that are starting to break out. And they're probably people that you run across every day that are very conscious that you may not be aware of. And part of that might be because you never initiated any kind of connection with these people, or maybe you made assumptions that they were not conscious or awakened, and so you just miss them, thinking that there's nobody else who understands what's going on in the world, when really there are a lot of people that do understand. And some of these people are on the cusp of breaking out, and some people maybe are totally aware and in tune with what's going on, but they're still living their life. So being awakened, being spiritual, being enlightened and all this stuff doesn't mean that you're like on some kind of cloud, or that you necessarily have to quit your job or do anything radical. You can still be awake, be present, be connected with everything around you, and be in a state of non-resistance, and allow other people and situations in the world to be what they are. Because we're all here for this experience. Whether you believe that you opted into the experience or you tripped onto this life by accident, the point is you're here. You're here. This is a particular experience, and we're all going through this shift. And there are different people at different stages of your awakening. Think of it as like a time released activation, right? Some people are more or less awakened at birth, and they're just born knowing and seeing things that are different than other people. And other people might be programmed for a number of years and eventually will figure it out. And other people maybe will just be programmed forever and that's it. They'll just die being under the program. But regardless of where you're at or where other people are at, just recognize that any stage you're in, there are people who resonate with you. And if your goal is to connect with or understand people who are awakening, then you have to allow that into your experience. And in order to do that, you have to stop judging people for not being where they are and release resistance to the idea that change cannot happen, or that you're all alone or nobody else understands you, because part of that problem is the reality you're creating is that you're in isolation and nobody gets you, and all the other negative predictions and self-judgments that you have, which you then project onto other people, and by default you end up creating what you believe, which is that nobody gets it, nobody else is awake, and you're all alone, and you get the idea. Alright, so that's just something to think about. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. Please share and subscribe. Thanks for watching.